Now, let's see where else we could take this. Can we take this to Spanish? Well, watch this, right? Translate the following to Spanish. What is the paragraph? This paragraph, I'm going to take this exact thing here, copy it. And paste. Translate it to Spanish. Can you do that? It will be a very rough translation, but it's possible. It's possible. It may not have all the nuances of the language, and I totally understand that because Google Translate does butcher a lot of stuff too. But the thing is, the ability to do these quick tasks are there and they're available to anybody right now. So as a teacher, you should be aware of this and don't just ban it. Don't get vexed with it. Try to figure out how to use it to your advantage because you may find this tool very useful. So let's take an example of IT, right? Because I'm an IT teacher and I have used this for a particular issue that I had in IT, which is explaining object-oriented programming to children, right? Explaining object-oriented programming is pretty difficult because object-oriented programming can be quite complex at times. So I want to say explain object-oriented programming to 16-year-olds using an appropriate analogy. So if I have to explain object-oriented programming to 16-year-olds, I will talk about designing a program and relating objects to each other. Here's what they said. Imagine you're building a model city. A city is made up of different buildings, roads, cars, and people. Each of these things can be thought of as an object in the model city. Each object has its own characteristics or attributes like the color or whatnot and performs certain actions and methods, right? And in the same way, an object-oriented program uses classes as a blueprint to create objects that have their own attributes and methods, which is basically what object-oriented programming is. And it could create multiple objects that interact with each other and perform different functions and people. So using the city analogy is something that I use all the time because we always use cities and we also use video games. So now I could say, okay, use a video game analogy now. Because probably my class loves video games. So they will say a video game, imagine you're creating a role-playing game, RPG, where the player could control different characters and like a warrior, and it will just do it. And I literally copied an analogy from here because I just found that was a really good way to explain it, and I love that they explain it that way. And suppose you get an explanation that is too long, right? Because it's conversational, what you can, oh wow, it's still going on. Oh, that's a lot. So obviously that's a lot. So now I could say encapsulate that response into 3 key points, comma, 1 sentence. Fix your typos, because encapsulate, right, into 1 sentence each. And now it'll be like, okay, key point number 1, based on the concept of objects that represent real world things. Boom. Second, third, right. And that's that. And you're applying this everywhere. As I said before, mathematics and calculations, it won't do really well on that because it's text-based. But let's say we take it to physics, right? So explain latent heat using an analogy from the Caribbean, because we're Caribbean teachers, right? Latent heat. This is physics now, and it's giving a Caribbean analogy. Imagine you're on a beach in the Caribbean and the sun shining in the ocean. The heat energy from the sun is absorbed by the ocean as latent heat. Similarly, when it rains, the heat energy is absorbed by the water vapor during evaporation. Has it? Right? Do the same explaining the third law of thermodynamics. Now, some teachers will be watching this and be like, well, I use better analogies than that. That's okay, if you have better analogies, that's cool. But every teacher, ever so often, has to be real with themselves and realize some topics I don't really explain too well. And for years now, I've been trying to explain it better and better. And as you get more experience, you learn to explain it better. But for those topics that you struggle to explain or you don't really grasp too well and it's hard to explain, ChatGPT is your friend. So the analogy of the two laws of thermodynamics is, think about a messy room. Imagine how a messy room, you want to clean it up. The more you clean it, the less messy it becomes. It eventually becomes completely clean. It reaches a state of minimum disorder. Similarly, as the temperature of a system approaches absolute zero, the entropy of the system also approaches a minimum. At absolute zero, all molecular activity stops. It's just kind of like, thanks for being so concise. So that's chemistry. You do the same thing for biology. You do the same thing for whatever. Anything that you want to explain in a different way and get like a response out of it, get 3 bullet points or whatnot. And because this thing is totally free, there is no copyright on what ChatGPT generates. You could look at it and decide, hey, this is cool. I'm gonna put this in my notes, because there is no, you can't get sued for it basically. So I encourage you to try. In our next video, I'll give you some of the pros and cons of it. And the pros and cons would require us to morph or adapt the things that we do. And in adapting the way that we teach, we could use this to our advantage. Because sometimes technology is kind of scary, but this here is scary, but it's so super useful that integrating it into the way we teach makes things a lot easier. Because now, instead of asking students to just go and Google something, we'll be like, go on ChatGPT and see what ChatGPT says. Let's see if we could understand it better. Maybe it might explain it better than you. Maybe it may not explain it as good as you, but at least it gives them the ability to get the data or get the information from something or some source that they actually have to like search it or do it for. Because I think it's a very useful tool. So you all should definitely check it out. Leave questions in the comments and I'll try to answer as much questions as possible to help you understand how it can be applied. Hey, sorry to interrupt here, but if you're watching this video, you're probably a teacher that's trying to find a better way to do things or trying to find a way to use technology to help you out in your teaching. One of the things we do at makeITsimpleTT is we find ways to educate people in different ways by putting out free content, but we also have special classes that we create. And we have a special class called Office Applications that should be coming up in June. Now, this class doesn't really assume that you know anything. But if you do know something, it will also enhance your skills. So it'll teach you things like creating professional documents, how to set margins properly, how to do those different things that they do to set lines for people to write on, multiple choice questions, how to format the documents, and most of all, how to collaborate with them. And that's just documents. But we also have a section for spreadsheets and how to use spreadsheets, how to do the formulas, how to create the graphs, how to create the charts, and how to collaborate with other people on the same spreadsheet so that I'll be able to do things like create report cards and do calculations for grades and all those different things. We have a special spreadsheet section. And one of the newer things that teachers should be doing a lot of is creating simple websites for their students to go on to get content and review things. And what we will be teaching is how to use Google Sites to create websites that are very, very easy to use, very easy to publish on the internet, and you'll be able to put all the content that you need to be able to create a centralized space, maybe for your own class, and that's the Office Applications class. So it starts in June and it runs for 3 months, June, July, August. It might take up a little bit of your holidays, but that's okay. The official cost is $900, but if you saw it inside this video, put in the code ChatGPT at registration and you will get a 10% discount just because you saw it inside this video and you were trying to find a way to use AI in your teaching. So we start in June. The classes are from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and there are assignments, there's work to do, there's collaboration, and of course you get an e-certificate upon completion because we want you to have something to show that you could actually use Office applications, not just on a computer, but in the cloud. Back to the video now. Oh wait, there's one more thing I didn't show you. Create a 30-minute lesson plan on teaching thermodynamics to 12-year-old thermodynamics to 12-year-old. Create a lesson plan, 12-year-olds in table format. Table format, that's one of your best friends. Let's see what will happen. 30-minute lesson plan on teaching thermodynamics to 12-year-olds in table format. Come on, you can do it. You're taking kind of long. If you realize the AI doesn't respond by this time, then you should just kind of stop. Using a table, create a 30-minute lesson plan on thermodynamics. Thermo, D-Y-N-E-M-I-C-S. For a 12-year-old. Okay, stop. I want you to stop. It doesn't want to stop. Yeah, it'll keep trying basically until it fails. Okay, yeah, so that didn't work. Alright, so I said using a table, create a lesson plan on thermodynamics for a 12-year-old. Let's not use thermodynamics. Let's use on the number line. Okay, using a table, create a 30-minute lesson plan on number line for a 12-year-old. Yeah, let's see if we'll do that. Oh wait, it did do the previous one. That's entitled Introduction, Objectives. Wow, yeah. Okay, so it took a while, but it was doing the one for thermodynamics. So that kind of dumb it down for the number line. But as the lesson, the duration, objectives of the lesson, usually you have to give the objectives, of course. And it gives the materials, the things that you will need. Whoa. An introduction, introduce the contemporary line, show a number line poster, and point out the positive and negative numbers on it, ask students to give examples. It even has the student interaction. Whoa. And it does it, boy, it does it. And if you are willing to just take it and use it as a base, it will be very, very useful for a lot of topics, because I guarantee you it could figure it out for you. Well, it kind of paused there. But anyway, I get the point. You'll let it finish off, because there's a lot of people using the AI at any point in time, so the servers will run through problems ever so often. But that's basically what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to use this thing to enhance your teaching life, because this is the future, and if the children are going to be using it, you better be sure that you're able to use it better than them, because teaching is going to change because of this. So, questions in the chat. I'll see you again.